Hey folks, the story kicks off in the eerie night of 2006 when a couple named Mira and Vishnu reached out to a psychic named Sonia, whom they were unfamiliar with. Sonia specialized in dealing with supernatural phenomena like ghosts and spirits. Mira and Vishnu sought Sonia's help because their daughter Zora had been exhibiting strange behavior lately, constantly conversing with her imaginary friend, Vidari, who she claimed was pregnant. Mira informed Sonia that Zora had previously battled attention deficit stress disorder, ADHD, a mental illness that had been treated with therapy and exercises. Despite this, Zora's IQ remained above average. Upon seeing Zora, Sonia noticed a distinct purple aura around her, indicating she possessed indigo powers similar to Sonia's, suggesting an enhanced sixth sense and connection to another realm. It became apparent to Sonia that Zora's friend Vidur was actually a spirit. Curious, Sonia and Zora engaged in a game of hide and seek with Vidur, following the sound of his footsteps. They discovered a drawing of Vidur in Zora's room, but their exploration was abruptly interrupted when Zora was pulled into a neighboring room and attacked by Vidur, leaving her severely injured. Sonia deduced that Vidur intended to possess Zora's body. In response, Vishnu requested Sonia to suppress Zora's indigo powers and erase her memories associated with them. The scene then shifts to 2023, where we meet Alex during a meeting. Alex is seen responding to messages from Zora, which surprises the company director, who remarks on Zora's refusal to accept any financial assistance from her family's business. The focus then shifts to Zora at her art gallery, passionately discussing her paintings with attendees. She presents them with a statue rumored to awaken at night. She stresses that it's stored in a cool room to preserve its temperature and prevent damage. Personally, she's never witnessed it moving on its own. These are merely fantastical tales conjured by people. Meanwhile, Alex arrives, revealing through their conversation that Zora and Alex are one and the same. In truth, Alex was the son of Anwar, a loyal employee of Zora's family. Zora receives a call from her younger sister Linda's school. Since their parents passed away a year ago, Zora has been caring for Linda. The school principal informs Zora that Linda has been displaying peculiar behavior, experiencing sleeplessness and fainting in class. Upon waking, she attempted to halt a school bus, fearing for everyone's safety. The principal advises Zora to provide Linda with rest and attention. Zora takes Linda home, administering medication and food. It's revealed that Linda has been undergoing treatment for depression since their parents' demise. Linda confides in Zora, recounting her ability to foresee events through dreams, which began after their family's fatal accident. Zora expresses concern for Linda's well-being to Alex, wishing for her recovery. Alex suggests consulting a psychic, much to Zora's dismay, as she disbelieves in such matters. During their conversation, it's revealed that Alex's father committed suicide 18 years ago, leaving lingering doubts in Alex's mind. He contemplates seeking answers from Saki, a psychic. However, both Zora and Linda refuse to entertain the idea. Alex respects their decision and refrains from pressing the matter further. At around 11 p.m., Linda descends to the ground floor to fetch water, only to encounter a terrifying apparition at the gate, sending chills down her spine. In her fright, she inadvertently collides with a broken glass, prompting her cries of distress. Hearing her screams, Zora and their maid rush to her aid. Trembling with fear, Linda insists that the ghost is still lurking behind Zora, though it remains invisible to anyone else. Suddenly, a nearby sheet is lifted, revealing the elusive spirit to everyone present. Witnessing the eerie sight, Zora becomes agitated. Convinced by her own eyes, Zora decides to take Linda and Alex to the psychic recommended by Alex. To their surprise, they discover the psychic to be Sonia, whom they encountered earlier in the movie. Sonia, after questioning Linda, divulges that Linda possesses the indigo power, enabling her to perceive spirits and demonic forces, and even foresee the future. Zora, however, rejects Sonia's claims, dismissing them as nonsense, and abruptly leaves with Linda. When Alex attempts to intervene, Zora lashes out, accusing him of believing in the supernatural out of personal need, and condemns his involvement in the dubious practices of the family business. Despite being related by blood, Zora has severed ties with the company due to its unethical practices, emphasizing the perils of greed. Back at home, Linda and Zora engage in a heated argument over Sonia's credibility. While Zora remains skeptical, Linda retreats to her room, disillusioned. As Zora watches TV, a news report reveals that the bus Linda tried to stop earlier met with an accident, resulting in multiple fatalities. This chilling revelation confirms Linda's ability to foresee the future. Later that night, Linda hears mysterious sounds at the door once again, hinting at the continuation of supernatural occurrences. Upon opening the door, there appears to be no one present, yet in the next instance, Linda perceives the shadow of the same entity cast across the curtain, drawing closer to her. This spectral figure is pregnant and seemingly resides within Linda's abdomen, leaving the same mark as it had bestowed upon Zora during her childhood, a telltale sign that it is none other than Vidu who has returned. Startled by Linda's cries, Zora and her companions rush to the room, tending to Linda's stomach wound, leaving everyone astonished. In the ensuing moment, the door swiftly shuts before them, solidifying their belief in the presence of an unseen force. Linda is hospitalized, where Sunny visits her and asks Zora to reveal the scar on Linda's stomach. Zora confirms the scar's presence, but recalls her mother attributing it to an animal encounter, accepting it without questioning further. Sunny proceeds to disclose that 17 years ago, Zora's parents sought her assistance to suppress Zora's indigo powers, erasing her memories of interactions with Vidur. Sunny presents Zora with a childhood drawing, affirming her previous encounters with Vidur. She warns that while Vidur failed to take Zora, she now targets Linda, marking her as her next vessel. Zora's powers were once weak and suppressible, but Linda's strength renders her immune to suppression. Sunny proposes reviving Zora's indigo power to aid in capturing Vidur, cautioning that this may make Zora vulnerable to Vidur's possession once again. Upon returning home, both sisters find the house doors closed. Linda hangs Sonia's Devi garland on the door, yet despite this precaution, Vigilai manages to break it once night descends, demonstrating her formidable strength. Witnessing Vigilai's presence, Linda rushes to Zora's room, where Vigilai attempts to possess her. In front of Zora, Vigilai forcibly drags Linda away, leaving Zora in pursuit. This time, Vigilai marks Linda's feet. Witnessing this, Zora endeavors to reawaken her dormant powers. Suddenly, Yura realizes that Vigilai is about to attack him, prompting her father to request Sonia to block Zora's powers. Despite Sonia's efforts, Zora becomes unconscious upon learning the truth. After 3 days, Zora regains consciousness and confides in Linda and Alex, recalling everything that transpired. Alex informs her that Sonia advised them to seek refuge at her house once Zora awakens. Meanwhile, Zora receives a phone call notifying her that her painting, with a crack, will be sold the following morning. Curious, Zora visits her art gallery to inspect the painting, where she notices a man. However, she discerns that he is not alive, as he lacks a reflection in the mirror, indicating Zora's reawakened powers. Startled, Zora attempts to drive him away, but ends up trailing him instead. As she pursues him, she seeks refuge in a room where the same statue from the beginning of the story is kept, which inexplicably begins to move. Terrified, Zora is rescued by Alex and Linda, and they subsequently seek solace with Sonia. Sonia offers to teach Zora and Linda to control their powers and transfer them between each other, as Vigilai can only target one of them. During their conversation, Jorah inquires about Deb's reticence. Elma explains that Deb, Sonia's son, remains traumatized by an incident 2 years prior, where a demonic entity caused their father's agonizing demise. Consequently, Deb holds Sonia's powers responsible for their father's death and refrains from communication. Sonia elucidates that combating such malevolent entities is challenging due to their cunning and dangerous nature. Later, as Linda heads to the bathroom to join the prayer, she encounters Vigilai, who seizes her by the throat. Fortunately, Sonia intervenes and saves Linda using her powers. While grappling with these events, Dury becomes unhinged and descends the stairs, tragically killing Elma. Witnessing her sister's death due to Sonia's powers, Deb's resentment towards his mother deepens. Despite losing her own daughter, Sonia remains committed to aiding Linda and Zora. Deb questions his mother's motives, urging her to abandon her work. Sonia explains to her son that she feels compelled to continue, as her powers are neither chosen nor desired, but rather a blessing or curse bestowed upon her. She reassures him that if she could use her abilities to bring back his father and sister, she would spare no effort. Meanwhile, at the hospital, the doctor informs Zora that Linda is in a semi-comatose state, the cause of which remains unknown. Sonia arrives, and Zora apologizes for her inadvertent role in the death of Sonia's daughter. When Vidri lifted Linda into the air, Zora inadvertently glimpsed Vidri's past, discovering that Vidur's life had been claimed by her family. It's revealed that Zora's grandmother, who was also an Indigo, struck a deal with the devil to ensure perpetual wealth for her lineage. In return, she sacrificed the life of a pregnant woman. However, the consequences were dire, as Vidur's spirit took residence in her descendant's child. Unable to possess a dying person, Vidur's plans were thwarted, leading Zora's grandmother to take her own life. Since neither of Zora's parents were Indigo, Vidu waited for Linda and Zora, both of whom are Indigo, to fulfill her objective. Zora learns that Vidur's true aim is not resurrection, but to inhabit a human body and bear a child. Sonia, shaken by this revelation, warns that any child conceived by an unseen force would still be human, causing unease. That offspring will inherit devilish qualities, perpetuating a cycle of malevolence and spawning more like itself, plunging the world into darkness and hatred, fostering crimes like greed-driven thefts. Sonia urges Zora that together, they must rescue Linda from afar through the conduit of their powers, ensuring Zora maintains equilibrium in her abilities. They converge at Linda's home, where Zora and Sonia channel their energies into Linda. Later, while having a meal, Linda encounters the spirit of Alex's deceased father, who reveals the circumstances of his demise. Zora employs her powers to uncover the truth. Alex's father, Anwar, stumbled upon Zora's grandfather conducting a demonic ritual and was silenced to conceal the secret. Learning this, Zora discloses the truth to Alex and extends her apologies for her grandfather's actions, explaining that his father had wanted him to abandon his current construction project. Additionally, Zora notices a site behind their old house where Viduri was buried after her demise. It's revealed that Viduri's spirit can only be permanently laid to rest if her remains are incinerated before 11 p.m. on a full moon night. Alex ventures to collect the remains, but receives a message from his boss instructing him to set fire to the land and house surrounding the construction. Alex rejects the directive, vowing to expose the truth and bring justice. Meanwhile, Deb gains insight into his mother's struggles after perusing Alma's diary and extends his forgiveness. Alex swiftly retrieves the remains, hastening back to complete the task at hand. Meanwhile, Alex meets with an accident orchestrated by his boss, resulting in severe injuries. Despite the hour passing 11 o'clock, Sonia sits by Linda's side to channel her power. Suddenly, Vigilai attempts to possess Linda, but Sonia intervenes, capturing Zora instead. Zora undergoes a drastic transformation under Vidu's influence. After gaining control over her, Vidu expresses delight upon seeing her reflection and requests food from Deb. Following Sonia's signal, Deb complies, bringing food to Vishwari, who revels in the prospect of claiming her enemy's wealth. Concurrently, Alex regains consciousness and contacts Sonia, disclosing his whereabouts. Linda also emerges from her coma. In haste, Sonia urges Alex to retrieve Vidu's remains promptly, warning of the dire consequences of prolonged possession. As they confront Vidu, both Sonia and Deb attempt to thwart her, but Vidu overpowers them, hurling them aside. Despite Zora's soul attempting to resist Vidu, she threatens Deb's life to weaken Zora's resolve. In a desperate attempt to protect Deb, Sonia strangles Vidu with her garland. However, Vidhu gains the upper hand, strangling Sonia until Deb intervenes. Linda arrives with Vidhu's bones, aiding Sonia in her struggle against Vidhu. Ultimately, Sonia incinerates Vidhu's remains, expelling her from Zora's body. Sonia forewarns Deb of impending danger, recognizing that their time is running out. In the subsequent scene, Sonia and Deb pay respects at Elma's grave. Alex's boss faces arrest, and Alex and Zora tie the knot, with Zora returning to her ancestral home. A few months later, Zora finds herself pregnant, radiating with happiness alongside Alex. However, her joy is interrupted when she notices Linda passing by her room in tears. Concerned, Zora approaches Linda to inquire about her distress. Linda reveals that she had a troubling dream, foreseeing a perilous future where imminent chaos looms and upheaval is inevitable. It is revealed that Zora's grandparents had made a pact with Satan, sacrificing Vidur in exchange for wealth, thereby allowing Satan to be reborn within their lineage. Now, there is a part of the devil residing within Zora, poised to be reborn as Sarah's child, heralding imminent trouble. While Sonia's warnings about the devil were indeed accurate, the looming question remains: will Sarah choose to confront the truth and decide the fate of herself and her unborn child? Perhaps the answers to these questions will unfold in the subsequent part of this tale.